What's the meaning of life? Is it in the Bible? Is it about thriving or survival? Should I eat idle or hunt with a rifle? Is life a cycle or a spiral? Should I believe in Metatron or Archangel Michael? Shiva the backside key of Jesus and his disciples. Is deciphering the meaning even vital? Is there an afterlife or is there final? Is it about charity in the face of calamity? Is my purpose to find a wife and start a family?
The reality of it is that
my main point is the sorry guys. Sorry. You wait, sorry, remember your question. You said the reality of it is.
I said the reality of it is that South has to be okay with it. So
Yeah,
in any reality, Brethren should come to South and say, listen, bro, I want to go. So this basically say South is alive, innit? So he left the woman. So I'm saying, really and truly, a real Brethren should go to South if he feels that way.
You know, Let me finish, and then I'll come into the lecture.
Here it is, yeah. This is what my plan is. And then South can say no. And when he says no, my man has to respect
Scarface. Wait, okay. Lex, do you remember what you was going to say? I'm coming to you next.
I'm never doing this out.
Brothers and sisters.
From what I understood what he's saying, it's not necessarily that, oh, it can't work, like polygamy can't work or polyamory can't work. But there are certain people in your life that you don't expect them to have those views, ever look at her like that, or for it to even occur from them. Because do you see what there are friends, I would rather, if I passed, I would rather you have this one, or this one. That one's not for you. I have friends that I discuss it with. Do you see what I'm saying? Everybody has their list. Who is on your list? So
you've got this one, and that one to share out, yeah? You busy, man. You get it, yeah?
It's a real thing. Like, girls have a thing, yeah? There are guys you've dated maybe for
Oh yeah. I know. I've been on that list. Not Jedi. You can. I'm over him. You can do your thing with him and him. Yeah. But that one. What's that to do with? What's that feelings?
You don't know if you're done or not, and that's the problem. And this is
emotionally, if you're emotionally.
This is in an ideal world, you might be done already, but she might not. So you see what you're saying? That I want her.
Sis, please don't go there because I'm saying it's the two consenting adults.
Yeah.
So you keep on taking my argument.
Okay. All right. Let me
say one thing that sis, you keep on taking my argument out of the construct.
Everybody's consenting.
Yeah. Both of them.
Both of them are consenting.
That's what they want.
But right now, but this is what I'm saying to you. We're both consenting.
Yeah. I'm blessing
you. Please, my brother, 1 second.
Yeah.
I start now in a relationship with somebody else. What happens 4 years later when I decide that I still love you?
That's good.
No, but what happens? See what I'm saying? No, but I know. But now it's a harder situation. It's somebody you picked me.
Everyone know. Hey, that's your business. You know where the fire was hottest. Kai, let me get Kai's question quickly, please, because I stopped him from talking. So.
Kind of forgot.
Shit.
Whoa.
Ah, shit. For that, it's going to be lost now.
Before that, you was talking about like the honour of it and like having. What's dishonourable about that? Where's
the dishonour in it?
Begin for you? Like,
where does it begin?
Dishonour begin.
He doesn't like it.
Let him talk.
Yeah. Thank you. The dishonour begins with me if, like what Joe said, there's been no firm communication between the thing. Like, for example, you see on a block or whatever, yeah? Let's be real, on a block or whatever. Gal that gets scrammed, yeah, man, them can pass around. Gal that are your missus or your wifey or whatever no, we don't go there when we split up or whatever. There's unwritten code.
Yeah, but that's
hold on. There's unwritten code. No, but you know what? But I can only. I'm not talking from a road culture. I'm talking from how.
You said that though. You
it happens on the road, but I can't talk from that perspective. I'm just talking about. I'm talking. The dishonor comes from like what Joe said. If you don't come and meet me, like when a man goes to date your daughter,
exactly.
Come chat to me, and then because as much as I'm a man and I'm scared of having a daughter in terms of dealing with females because I want to kill you and I got to come to the realization that my dad didn't go kill my missus for getting with and my sister's boyfriend didn't get killed and whatever. So as long as there's a communication and an understanding and you respect whatever the outcome is, do your fucking thing. You feel me? No, but like I said, I thought it was from a sexual part. Joe confirmed that it wasn't, but then also I didn't want people to think I was only purely talking on the sexuality. Right. I know you do, sis. I know I can feel you. So it's just literally on But then the one only other point, because I don't disagree with you giving it to like the closest brother. I just, for me personally, agree on my point where you run almost the same.
5 years ago, I would have come with your mindset. I would have come straight, bruv. No, I don't want to see.
But why 5 years ago? Because that makes me sound immature.
No. 5 years ago, I didn't have the mentality I've got now. 5 years ago. Who's getting my baby mum? No, it was like that's how I'm going mad from. I'm just thinking that's what it's the same road code. I came up with the same code, but it's only through actually I had to really sit there and actually think to myself and say, 1 minute, I'm moving on. Is it fair? Am I being like what? Like what is it? And then I had to look at the situation and say, boom, what's best though?
Yeah, real talk.
What's really
that's
best?
That's him personally. He's not putting his thing on no one. He's saying that's good for him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But then how do you know as well, as an individual, what's best for the other individual? No one has spoken about chatting to the woman about being taken over by the man.
We did speak about. We spoke about the woman's choice, and if the woman says, "I'm not feeling them, I'm feeling them." Okay,
you know what
I mean?
And what if she wants to do it? No one's even addressed that.
We did say we did.
I didn't hear that part.
And then it works, but then I end up.
That's the danger of relationships and
that's part and parcel. The same way the people talk about the problems with polygamy. Every problem you're going to tell me about in polygamy is in monogamy. It's in monogamy as well. So I would make the argument that there's something that some people in the polygamous might even have less.
Okay. So I'm back on this polygamy thing, and what I wanted to talk about was we talked about. I think. Would you say what did you think we just discussed there? Emotions or sex? Both. Yeah. What is the key factor? Yeah. Is it the emotional aspect, like as in what Lex is saying? What if the girl's not over it, and 4 years later she's like, "Raw, I still got." That's all emotion, yeah. Because
emotion is sex and sex is emotion.
Nah.
Fam, for women, yeah. You see, for certain women, fam, man, stop. I beg, man, stop fronting, blood. Like for certain women, yeah, when they get penetrated, the feelings that they get, some of them can detach. Even porn stars say they can take themselves out the realm and have to do some psychological thing. It's how we're built. Stop stunting, man. Then when they bust it, when they beat a thing, certain time you can fucking think, but raw. I call it a regret fuck. You're like, I don't even want to. Why did I touch this thing? You're cringy. And then there could be one where you're beating, you're like, you know what? I'm not even pulling that. I'm gonna nut inside because this unit, this energy right now is different. Please don't front. Let's keep it 1,000% real. We're human beings. Don't act like we're robots. We can switch things off and switch on.
Some people they can mentally.
I don't call it being a robot. I call it discipline. Not necessarily.
I like that.
Discipline is. How? Bro, simple. An example.
Knowing your emotions.
Simple. No. That's what I said. That's why I used the keyword discipline.
I said feeling, I said it comes from a feeling. I'm not talking about you being robotic and saying, you know what, I'm not going to rub off my feeling.
Like, what you're putting as robotic, to me, I respond to as discipline. So, for example, I always had this thing when I was younger that if we were not in a relationship, I was not rolling with you. And it did not happen because I had discipline. So discipline is something that overrides emotion.
So you detach your emotion.
Right. Yes, that's what I'm saying. No. This is what I'm saying. To detach means I was always attached. To say I detach means I was already attached. I was never attached. I'm saying I can enjoy it with the female, enjoy her company, but know enough as a disciplined individual that this is not correct. Because if I get her pregnant, I don't want to stay with her.
I just said that regret fuck. And a feeling where you're like, you know what, I'm not trying to pull out. You're going away from the point. Don't you walk out of this one, cuz it's not. I'm the wrong guy.
That's what you
said. Joe, second time, you know.
I don't know what the side note was about getting. I don't know what I'm addressing what was said. Yeah. From the jump, he said robotic, and I said, bro, that robotic.
No, you take the three things. I said the regret fuck, where you say, raw. This is I'm talking about feelings, bro. So you're like, you banging, you're like, raw. Why did I even go there? Then there's a one where you're saying, I'm not pulling out.
Yeah.
And then I said, for you to ignore those two is robotic. Stick to the context, bro.
Yeah.
Feelings, bro. Feelings, bro.
You can have sex without feelings, isn't it? Right?
I don't know.
What do you mean? What do you mean by without feelings?
Feelings to me, is beyond the physical.
It's like bashing.
You understand what I'm saying? So feelings, I'm giving the context now. Feelings is to me is beyond the physical. It's more than just the physical.
Yeah.
I know in my youth, in my younger age, I have been with women where feelings had less than nothing to do with anything. But to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you said robotic, I thought that's what you meant. And I said, no, just discipline from my perspective. That's all I said. I said, my discipline was like, I know, we ain't got no feelings. It's been mutual. There ain't no feelings about this. We just want to have a good time. So I'm saying that's also possible.
So you want to feel good. That's the good
that's
time.
A feeling.
It's a feeling.
So,
it's a feeling. You can't run. Don't you, man, you walking like, you can't run. It's a feeling. A good time is a feeling.
This is what I'm saying. For us to understand each other, you got to tell me what you mean by feeling, because that's what
by emotion.
No, you didn't. You said about having a good time as a feeling. That's not how to.
A regretful,
emotional,
and the one where you don't want to pull out feelings. And if you ignore both of those, you're robotic. That's what I said. You took robotic and went to another.
All right. Let me go into it like this. Yeah.
Is feelings emotional?
Yeah. I think that's basically what we're saying.
I want to hear from the brother. Is feelings mean emotion? Is that what you're talking about?
Fam, I'm talking about just feelings. How the feel of that. See when you say like, oh, I feel disgusting.
We're talking about emotions.
So what I'm saying, that's emotion, fam. If you're feeling disgusting,
the answer was yes.
So if you feel, and if you bang, you say, you know what, I'm not pulling that.
The answer was yes.
That's an emotion.
So are you counting the physical sex of it as a feeling, as an emotion?
That's all. It's all in couple.
The sensation. You're not talking about the sensation.
Not the sensation. Because you can bash on. You know what I'm saying?
Fam, it's easy if we just use simple language. We're talking about sensation or emotion, or both.
Emotion, fam.
Okay,
he's talking about sensation.
I stand on my point.
He's talking about sensation. He's saying that he can bang, get the sensation, and have no emotion attached to that. That's what he said.
Cool. And that's what he reckons he can do. And for him, that's something he can do. But for us, we don't think that we can do that. And I understand. But I agree with what he's saying. I'm just coming at it from a different point of view. Whereas that emotion is there. But that emotion is there. But check this. Wait there. The emotion is there. But check this. What's powerful about fucking me as a man. Yeah. I've got emotions, I've got feelings, but I also got logic, and that logic supersedes the emotion. So my logic is saying, my logic is saying, for instance, I'll go back to the bridge and say, "Raw, fam, man, and I swear to God, I was in love with it." And you ever heard that? You know when they're talking about you know these little memes, and man's getting head over, and he's nutted, and he's having an out of body experience, and he's catching feelings.
So you talk about feelings. You said, "Oh, your logic overrides." That means before the logic came, you had an emotional feeling.
No, not really. They both exist at the same time. Okay. But you have you have an emotional setting, logical setting in your head. This is me personally now, yeah? I've got this emotional setting where I will indulge in all of that. Yeah. However, in my head, I already got a context for it. Yeah. So even though it feels great, it feels like I can put it in a different box. So this is where man them say, "Oh, well, you know, I do this with you, but you're not wifey." And then you do the same thing to wifey, and all of a sudden, that's all special. Because of the context you have in your head. So and that allows that allows the emotion. Cool. You now say, "Look, I know you hear emotion, but I'm only going to take a couple drops of you."
That's perception.
Yeah, it's still there, the emotion, but you're only allowing some of them to you're accepting some of them. So, and then in the other aspect, you have the emotions, but you say, fuck that.
If you don't think about it,
this ain't the time and place for them.
If you have sex with a female and don't even think about it, what does that mean?
You've just trained yourself to that point where where your logic already is superseded the emotion. I would believe that.
You're emotionally detached, yeah? So now at that point, can you still say you're still having a feeling?
Are you still having feelings?
The reason why I say that.
You just said feelings and then emotions.
That's why I'm slipping my way into the thing. Because I'm trying to get clarity. I've got clarity from the brother. I'm trying to clarity from you now.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it's perception to me personally. It's perception. You can call it emotion. That's your perception, I believe. I look at it from, because there's no factual of it's emotional. It's not emotion. So what I'm saying is, what do you call it?
If we're talking about emotions or sensation,
I'm saying sensation. I've just dealt with sensation.
Sensation, so my point is, the physical feeling. Okay, yeah, cool. But we're talking about emotional.
Let me finish. These fucking rubber things.
Let me finish.
That's a woman, a female.
You lot are talking about sensation and emotion, and I think it's very simple. If we know this is the language we're going to use. So if we're going to say emotion, we're going to say emotion. If we're going to say sensation, when you say, "Oh well, can you detach emotion and have feeling?" You're going around in circles. Because emotion and feeling, we've already said, are the same things. Yeah, they are the same things. They are non-physical cues. Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. Once I understood that feeling meant emotion, I'm saying we haven't spoke about now the sensation of it. Because this is why we talk about we've been hypersexualized. Right? So I'm talking about from a programming standpoint. Yeah. From a programming standpoint, you're not thinking emotional with the female. from a programming standpoint, because we've been hypersexualized as black people. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, we are not thinking.
No, I'm saying we've been hypersexualized. So there's times where, from my nephews to myself to whoever, they've dealt with a female. They didn't even think, or they forgot her name before they even left the yard.
Yeah.
How you gonna tell that?
That don't mean that's not. Listen. You can have emotion for someone that you've never met before and you've just met at that moment. Like emotion is your response to something. So it's nothing to do with the other person. You don't have to.
So that's your point of view, but that's not factual.
Right, the fact is, you can engage in something. The fact is,
the truth of the matter is, you can't have every physical sensation. You attach an emotion to it. That's how our brain works. It's only sociopaths who don't attach emotions to sensations. So you cannot have a physical experience and not attach some kind of emotion.
So when people shoot schools up,
whether it's a positive emotion, whether it's a negative emotion, whatever that emotion is, you will attach to it. Whether you choose to repress it or not address it.
Remember, indifference is an emotion, you know. You've chosen.
Hold on. Let me finish. When you went to have sex with whoever it was, in your head, you've already somehow justified it to yourself. Okay,
is this on still?
We're going to do X, Y, Z, but I'm not going to have any feelings with it about it for whatever reason.
No.
Yeah?
We're doing one camera.
You said that you have had dealings with women and you've had sex with them where there were no feelings involved.
Right.
Yeah? You made that decision, right?
I didn't think about it. I'm reflecting now on. I'm reflecting on
Did
now.
you discuss it?
No, we didn't discuss it. We didn't discuss it.
Right. So you made that decision. So you mean to tell me
to go link someone and have sex?
But you have to have some kind of feeling attached to it.
How do we know this? Seems like this.
Because otherwise, you'd be walking around. You could have sex with anybody.
You can't rise up. You can fuck an animal. You can fuck a dolly. If you have no emotional attachment. Come on. If you're looking for a sensation, if you're looking for a sensation,
is lasting and it forms an attachment is one
something different. Yeah.
But you have an emotion, even if it's for that moment.
Even if you reject it, even if you
pleasure
ignore it,
together, and it made you feel good. If you choose to leave it there, that's fine. You've packaged it up, and you've left them there. But you've had an emotion.
Even beating, even masturbating, there's emotions attached to masturbating.
And sensation.
You could beat a dolly.
Exactly. Well done.
That's crazy.
That is an emotion. It still is. Yeah. But whether you use, because some people associate that good feeling. Some people associate that good feeling of an orgasm or penetration or whatever it be, they associate that feeling with something that they're gonna build on, and then try and turn that into something else. So they might you made me feel so. She made me feel so good that I've got to see her again. And then I see her again and see her again. And before you know it, we've gone from the sexual element of what it was to now something else that I've told myself, because it could still just be sexual. You could be with someone for 50 years. Yeah?
Can a person, like maybe the man's in a wheelchair, the woman's met him, Stratford, Broadway, boom, they've clicked it off, they talk about getting married 2-3 years later, they never had sex. The chick's saying, yeah, fuck it, I don't think sex is even that important in life. You with me? Like, this guy has showed me in my life that, you know what, it's bigger than sex. Because when I told him that because you're in a wheelchair, we can't sex, I might have to go and sex Jamie.
He didn't care.
No, he was like, babes, I'm not gonna lie, go through if that's what you want to do, but rest assured that will hurt me. And I know what he has done for my life. So because I didn't want to hurt him, I said, fuck it. If we can't do it together,
we ain't doing it.
We ain't doing it together. Now, I'm not saying that's a story I've invented. But if I heard that, like, what's the word? People, like, you know, someone told this story, testimony. Yeah, if I heard that as a testimony, I would go, yeah, breakers. Because I get what everyone's saying. Sex is emotional. You can detach the emotion from sex, but sex is not the be-all and end-all of any relationship. And the minute you start placing too much focus on that, that's where a lot of our relationships go wrong. For example, you've got relationships where it's kiss and make up. When the woman is on heat, the man's about, when she's a bit moody or whatever, because she's on a period or whatever, they can't even connect. Because for him, he can't even really touch her. He can't look past the sex. And for her, she can't look past the fact that it's more than just not finding him attractive right now. This is the man she's going to spend the rest of her life with. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I think we're kind of getting lost in the sauce in the sense that obviously sex is emotional, but sex and emotion can be separated, you know. Can be completely separated.
But what we're saying is, there is still an emotion.
Of course there is.
Do you see what I mean?
There is still an emotion.
Anger,
You just said it has to be separated.
He's talking about lasting emotion.
Because it's together.
He's talking about lasting emotion that causes attachment. He's talking about attachment and emotion.
Of course.
Not just an emotion.
Yeah, to have sex with something, you must have some sort of emotion
towards
it.
So whether it be pleasure or lust,
what he's saying is you can have sex without a lasting emotional attachment where you're going to be together with that person. That's positive for positive reasons.
The reason I'm clear, it's clear because when he said that, I was like, oh, when you be with a woman, and this is why if you notice, I've had it in question format. If you've noticed, I haven't made no declaration. I'm trying to understand, like, okay, when I'm talking to the young, because this is an important topic when I'm talking to young people. So when a young man says to me, bro, I didn't think about it, and I'm like, yeah, I understand, because I haven't thought about it. I'm trying to find out, because my field of emotion is a connection. That's what I think it is. It's a connection. So I'm like, can that connection be absent if you ever have sex? Because like I said earlier, I said they've hypersexualized the public where we don't look at sex in the right way, which is an emotion. So I'm asking, can they be separated? When you said sex and emotion be separated,
I don't think.
Can we separate? Can people have sex and it mean nothing?
Yeah. I mean, as in terms of post sex. Yeah, when you're breaking it down after.
Let's talk about during. Let's talk about during.
During, I think people.
The whole thing of sex is either procreation or pleasure.
I think people can be detached while doing the act. Yeah, because for instance, your people can be detached with the being or whatever they're with. They're not connected with that person. Yeah, so that's easy. So for instance, you got the one where you're saying, I'll just put a paper bag over her head. Yeah, that kind of analogy, or just look up in the air and or she's closing her eyes and she's just like, you know what I mean? And then people start going into their own little fantasy worlds and their own little thoughts of what if. It's not really about the person. Sometimes you have to, when you're having sex with a person, you have to check them, and see what they're doing. Because you giving them the pleasure, but that energy is going to someone else because whoever's inhabiting that mind space is the one that they're actually coming to or whatever it is. You know what I mean? If you watch a porno, here's the telling thing in a porno which put me off porn. Yeah. They're beating, having sex. This man is not spontaneously nutting. He now has to break, stop, and then it flicks in, and he's like, staring at some place in the window, in the thing, like staring at some corner, and whatever he's thinking about to nut is so separate from this whole thing that's supposed to be all sexual. And you that are turned on, and it's like, hold on, what happened there? How come she's not turning you on? Like, you get me? What's going on? So there's a detachment there, isn't it? Whereas the end goal, what's going to give him the orgasm is still an emotional thing. He still has to go in his head to find that emotional thing. Yeah. If you're a guy that ever had shit sex, and you want to come, just to get overdone with, it's not even that, but you put yourself in a zone where if you're honest, it ain't really about that person you're having sex with. It's just you want to get a means to the end.
Just been out like that, and then just bow, you shoot it now and you're good because dark cat.
So it's not about. So it ain't about. So I think that you've detached maybe from that person emotionally, but still the act is conjuring up some kind of emotional response psychologically. And remember, sex is a psychophysiological thing. So it's not just one thing.
Because when I'm a scientist, so when I read into it, scientists will tell you that you can have an emotionless sex. So I'm trying to understand, like, what do we... No, I'm not saying it's fact. I'm just saying... I'm curious to see how...
Scientists say that fluoride is good for you.
I know. So I'm saying... Cool. So that's what I'm asking. Like, do we think... what is our thinking on it? Is it a perspective? Is it something we've tried and tested? Is it something that from your life experience...
I don't know if you can't... I personally couldn't detach sex and emotion. What I could do is have sex, and then later on, after that sex is done, after that, meaning after I've taken out my dick, I can say, do you know what? Like, in my head, the way I process it it's now a thing of I'm not putting weight on the emotional side of it. But it must have been there in one way or another. A little bit. Yeah. Something about her. Oh, she was pretty, she wear it, she like whatever it was.
The lust bit.
But we say lust, yeah, but it's not just lust, it's attraction.
You can't say
attraction.
Yeah, there's always some sort of
because I'm saying, because coming from the because obviously it's about pheromones, isn't it? That's what attraction is based on scientific. It's pheromones. You're giving off heat. You're giving off some sort of
signals and that.
Sorry?
That's the name they've given it.
No, of course.
But it's more than that.
It's language. What we're saying, that's just language, isn't it? But we're saying it's an attraction. What we call attraction, whatever that word is, we use in English, isn't it?
It's an emotion.
So what I'm saying is, do we think we can ever have sex with?
Put it this way: if the girl is not emotionally involved in having sex there, you are rubbing a sausage in sandpaper, bro. You are. You know what I'm trying to say, fam? Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say, fam? You feel what I'm trying to say to you? Like, if she's not, but then again.
Man can't rise up if you're not feeling the thing.
In any way.
In any way, shape or form, you can't rise. Don't lie.
Or if you're emotionally somewhere else.
What if you're emotionally somewhere else?
If you're emotionally somewhere else.
I don't think it's good for anything because then that's a very big curtain. That's almost like a curtain call.
That's like a curtain.
Yeah, because
take some drugs.
Yeah, because I think if we could still do that, we would more or less just be sexual beings then, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And there wouldn't be that, and there wouldn't be much emphasis on the emotion, but like balance.
Men like to say, oh, I can have sex with women I don't like, and I'm like, stop lying. You have to like on some level. Like,
so no man that ever beat a dead thing before? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, but that was an emotion. That emotion of.
There's something about
you needed to bust a sucker. Anything to bust your nut on. That's the sensation
you
part.
don't want to continue with exploring any of it. For your dick to get hard, you have to have an emotion attached to it. Otherwise,
what about urge? What about
I get the emotion attached to what? To what? Attached to her. To the act.
Because you want to engage in that act.
No, but this is the thing. This is the thing. It might not be about her. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because you got people that do the glory hole thing, that put their willy in a hole and then make a random stranger suck their willy.
That's all about what?
But what's the emotion?
That's all about danger.
So that,
and what it
but it's got nothing to do with the other person, though, is it?
It's about the emotion and the feeling.
I agree with that. Emotion put on the physical act, yeah, but not on the person.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but there's still emotion there. So to answer the question, you can be emotionally. Sorry, my brothers, wait. You can be emotionally attached. Bruv, listen, you can be emotionally attached to a physical act, but not necessarily the person. So some people are emotionally attached to sex. So they are. So listen. They are highly sexed people. So they want to fuck to feel that emotional, whatever it does for them. Yeah. But that's the kind of girl that you have sex with, and then at the end of it, you thought you was doing well. At the end, when you look over, she's crying. Because there's something wrong with her head. Then she sees somewhere else. You lot never had tearful pussy. You never had no tearful pum pum. Tearful pum pum. Where you beat it, or even hot, and you have to look and you have to say, are you alright? Are you alright? Now what one?
What's going on? You made that in the corner latch.
Fam, you never. Yeah. Fam, I don't care. I had a scenario when I was young with a with a partner. Yeah, that's different.
Was that good, or was she just mad?
No, all right. Let me explain. Let me break down. Wait. Bro, people. Let me break down two quick scenarios for you. One, I was in my teens. I had a girlfriend. We were sexing like rabbits. Yeah, and I don't know what was going on for me that day, but I just must have been. I don't know if you lot seen what's the word? Is it Indecent Proposal? Where Michael Douglas is they walk into the yard from a party and then he starts having sex with the wife, all against the wall and he's just going in. And then at the end of it, she's like, never fuck me like that again. And basic instinct, yeah? Basically, I must have been on something where I was just going on a way, which she may have perceived to be out of my character. So in her whole thing, she's like, "Raw, my man is doing this thing differently." You get me? Like he's not. Do you know what I mean? He's not. I don't know. Maybe the sensitivity weren't there. Whatever it was, but it was a bit more forceful than Jed's normally is. So when I turned around and got this response in her face, I was like, bro, what? Because she looked upset by it. One, she's having sex with her man, that's her boyfriend, she's in a loving relationship, yeah? And two, the person she's having sex with doesn't feel like he's the same guy. So she's having some kind of conflict, like, right, Jess is moving different. I still want to have sex with him, but now he's made me feel away because he's moving like some like some beast and that, yeah. And it ain't. No, it weren't that, but like honestly, how it was relayed to me was you didn't seem emotionally connected at that moment in time. You weren't making eye contact, and you just banging away. That's not you. You're a sensual guy. You swivel and swirl and do your, you know what I mean? Sensual guy, you get me? Two Erica Badu, two Kendall, you get me? No, but basically that was one scenario, yeah. The other scenario was one where it was a partner where we had a tempestuous relationship, yeah, which was basically highly charged and, you know, a lot of shouting and arguments and all this passion and all that, yeah. And then obviously we'd kind of broken up and got back together. So when we got back together and we'd had sex, she started bawling when we were having sex. And I'm like, bro, what's good? What's wrong? Get me? I've had sex when it's so good and she busts a tear. But there was something there where she couldn't control the emotion. So whatever had happened, whatever the sex had evoked an emotion in her, and which turned out to be a confession.
Oh, so the confession,
yeah. You know them ones there where she starts saying stuff like, I don't deserve you. Yeah. Is there something I need to know? Hear me? You see what I'm saying? Because what you got to remember is, like certain brothers have already touched on and certain sisters have already touched on, the sex is an avenue to certain emotions. Yeah, and emotions can play havoc on a woman's mind. I'll say a woman and a man's mind who doesn't have their shit in order or don't have their shit on lock. So then it can, like for instance, I've heard some people say, oh well, I fucking hate him and he's done this and he's done that, he brought me up, he did this very rare, and then you went and had sex with him and it's like, oh I know, it's just like, you know, because the sex goes in your mind, takes your emotions and does that. I like things this way. Yeah. Now, if you're strong, you can rearrange them straight after you nut. Like, nah, that was just sex, okay. Yeah. But some people, they can't. Once the sex has reconfigured the way they're thinking and their emotions, that's it. So this is, I don't know. That's enough for me going on about it.
The most powerful thing we've done is differentiate the two.
That
was the most powerful thing for me to know. There's sex when it's emotional for the person and when it's emotional for the act.
For the act,
That's what I'm trying to distinguish. I'm going to distinguish.
But there's always emotion. I think we're saying.
Because when you say it's just
everything.
There's emotions in everywhere.
So yes,
how you say it that makes you strong. It's the same way on the flip side. The man in the wheelchair who can't have sex, the woman is saying, "Rah, you know."
That was a deep one.
Listen, disabled people are freaky. They have control.
No, as much as freaky they are, but I don't know. But I'm just saying, I have to get to that level where she's saying, I'm a detached my sexual need from the emotional side of this relationship.
But does he have a sexual need himself?
No, but if his dick ain't working, his dick ain't working.
Yeah, but that don't mean that he ain't got sexual needs.
No, he might want to sit.
He might just have to nyam bare pumple.
I don't know.
Don't get
that. Never end up in a wheelchair.
Neck down to not have a sexual relationship.
What? Say that again.
No, I'm with you. I'm trying to use that as an example. If you couldn't,
you're saying finger game on 100.
If
you lost your legs, you can still, your cocky might still work.
You know, ain't seen Game of Thrones.
Wait, say that again, fam.
If you lose your legs, your cocky might work.
It might, not all the time. It depends where on the
it
depends. You got the damage in your spine.
But some people get to that kind of agreement without there being a disability involved. It might just be he's impotent.
Yeah,
what are we doing now? Your dick doesn't work.
Or she's got zero sex drive, or all these things.
Like there are some situations. It's vaginismus or something. But
Is that when it's numb, they
some
can't feel it or
women,
something?
you physically can't penetrate.
You can't get in there. The pom pom's too tight. Yeah, it's not happening.
What's that?
Because of an emotional issue. So now
Her
the
pom
act-
pom's locked. It's locked.
Locked up.
And it's no, not locked up. Locks up. It's locked up.
Locked.
Because of emotional issues.
Makes sense why women.
Now
That's what I'm saying. She's right because it's not right.
It makes sense why women love foreplay.
Yeah, that's why you got
You didn't know. You didn't know.
Because all that is warming up the emotions.
That's what I'm saying. From that
Especially, but it's not just emotions.
It's not just emotion, because some women are so mentally
Can I say
strong,
something?
they can cut off the whole foreplay thing.
And just do it now, straight
No,
away.
no. What I'm saying, they will
Emotion.
still require foreplay. They might still
Some
require
sort
foreplay, but the person who might be giving them all the foreplay, she might be thinking, dickhead, just hurry up and fuck me good, yeah, because you're a pussy, yo. And some chicks are strong enough in their mind to be like that, to be that cutthroat about their sexual relationships. And again, that's what
Is that strength?
No, it depends on how you want to apply it. I can give you my personal opinion on it, but
Please.
I'm not her.
No,
so with me, personally, I know, look, I've been in relationships where we're fucking, and I'm saying, no, we're not.
It's not going there, yeah.
And then in the future, after a while, the chick starts acting like I'm the bad guy, but I made everything clear. And then I realized,
the emotions
exactly. Then I realized
that.
she ain't done nothing wrong. She ain't done
She's
nothing
just following
wrong. She's just following her emotions. So I know this game, innit? So as an adult, at where I'm in my life right now, I ain't really trying to get them complications out there. The next person I'm beefing with because she's phoned me saying, how are you? Like sex not that important. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But when I do meet the one where I'm saying, nah, raw, me and you, we get that,
I could go through some stress for you.
Can we say from what I'm learning today, it actually makes sense not to have sex anytime soon when you meet someone.
Sure.
Exactly.
I'm not going to courting, dating.
No, what I'm saying, bro, I'm literally saying,
Yeah.
I've learned what you man are saying, because I'm like, that confuses everything. Because like I said, some people can't rearrange it, man.
That's the end goal.
And
When you find out that the person's
based on the sex
you
as
say, you
well.
know what, we're compatible enough, let's do this
you
thing.
got meant to marry.
That's why
You weren't meant to
that guy goes married, though.
No, back in the day we was dating, bro. We was taking girls out on dates. We
Yeah, of course you were dating.
linking them and fucking. We was going cinema.
Man was dating.
You
had to go.
Don't put the camera on my face, bro. Don't put the camera on my
Okay,
face.
would you date a girl for like 3-4 months if you really liked her? Would you do it?
Yeah.
I've done
Say
that.
that again.
If you like the girl, you date for 3-4 months and sex not being an issue, right?
3-4 months. Is that what you're giving her?
Not me.
No, he threw out a number.
I'm not saying, I'm trying to like, could you date a girl that you like for 4 months, 6 months straight? No sex.
Respect saying he's not buying the cow if you can't test the milk. You get me? They want to test that milk. Could be some bit of milk in the cow, innit?
That's interesting.
Let's hear this.
For 6 months, can you date this girl?
I'd have been working at it, fam. It would have been 6 months of trying to break through.
But I can do it.
No. Let's say I didn't break through at 6 months, and this chick.
I'm saying don't try though. I'm saying no, that's cheating. I'm saying don't try.
Oh, okay. Let me show
6
you a more realistic way. Let me show you a more realistic way. I would have been trying anyway. And then let's say she said, yo, look, babes, I love you, yeah, but this whole sex thing, we need to chill out a bit for a minute, yeah? And I'm like, I'll try again. She's like, hey, I'm not fucking talking to you, don't call my phone. If I really loved her,
You have to respect
I'll
that.
call her back, babe.
You have to respect that.
I didn't know.
You have to respect that.
But what it is, yeah, come, I ain't gonna try it on you. She can come sleep in my bed, I'm gonna put my bowl into the side.
You respect it, but you gotta also understand
It
why.
might come to the point, it might come to the point where I'm like, are you mad? Man's been moving like Lord Varys for fucking
Wait till you see this season. Yeah? When we're talking about man that ain't got no cocky and having sex here, wait till you see this season. Yeah, then you're gonna see the living thing. But you know what? It's 7 words. It's 7 words, yeah? Let me put the tip in. Oh, that's 6. See? We never trust a man that wants sex. See, this is the thing. Please. But can I just, because we just branched on this quickly, yeah? I need from the sisters, I'm going to Mama Philly, yeah? the period of time of a man or a woman waiting, like if you got with your partner, or you got with somebody, you met him, he's nice, rare, and then you feel like you're sexually ready to explore, and he's saying, "No, babe, not yet. It's too soon." How do you feel about that?
I wouldn't like it. Because that happened to me and him before.
Yeah.
He was taking ages. And I'm like, what's going on? He's taking ages. And I'm complaining to his friends. Or tell his wait, what's going on?
Me and you are friends, but just me the way. And every night she comes.
You know, bring some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it.
Nah, that's
not going to like too long. It's too long.
Ivy, you meet a partner. Sorry, you meet a partner, Ivy, and
I was celibate for nearly 2 years, so I know how to discipline myself. I understand the power of sex. It's not just about my little orgasm or whatever. Like, it's actually, like you were saying before, about union. Whoever you are around, regardless of sex or whatever, you will become. So you have to be careful about the things that you're doing. So if I'm going to lay down or whatever with someone, I know that I'm going to be taking their energy, they're going to be taking my energy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's an exchange, isn't it? No, but it's still energy. It's still energy. But it's still energy. I know.
Women's, I don't know which one it is.
It's still energy.
It's aura. What she's trying to say is once the vibration hits.
Sorry. What had you finished your point?
No. So anyways, that's what I'm saying in it. So you just have to be conscious about the act itself. Is like you were saying, like we're overly sexualized. Do you know what I'm saying? So if we're overly sexualized, you're saying about then we can just have sex with people and we haven't got that emotion. But the thing is, it's a sex. Let's go back to what sex is. You can create life, and when you're going back to Africa and the fact that you can your brother might marry your wife or whatever, that's to procreate. It's not about the act of sex. And that people understand how sacred that act is anyway. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it is for me. And I personally feel, especially within the gay community, that they focus too much on the sexual thing. You're saying you want people to accept you and you're normal,
but it's just
whatever normal is, but every 5 minutes, sex. And it's like me, I can only speak for me, my sexuality is like 1% of who I am. I'm beyond my sexuality. I'm beyond my race. I'm beyond these things. I'm an energy. I'm an everlasting spirit. Do you know what I mean? I've been here so many times. So I can't just focus on these little aspects of myself because that's just me experiencing.
So we're so focused on sex, it's nuts.
Yeah. You know what? We have to experience life.
But it's how we came here. It's how we got here, though. It's how we got here. I think. You know what I would say, just quickly, because it just came to my mind. Yeah. This literally just came to my mind. Maybe we're so focused on sex because we just want to know. We want to get closer to the process that brought us here.
Yes.
So it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual quest, a spiritual hunger to know about where we were before, why we so focused on sex, but we've been caught up in this whirlwind of just the physical thing.
I think sex is sacred, bro.
Of course it is.
Like for example,
that's why we're so interested in sex,
So are you saying
because we're really interested in spirituality?
Yeah, because society started having sex because of what it really means. Would we have the broken homes and stuff like that?
Nope.
No, I don't think so.
Not as much.
I mean, I'd say for us to have sex based on what it really means, if we could be so pretentious to think we even have a fucking clue what it is, but just from what we can gather, the wholesome shit. But I think sex is about the freaky shit too. I actually do think it's about that. Yeah, of course, we know it's definitely one thing. 100% is magic. Yeah, but
exactly.
It's magic.
But yeah, it definitely is.
You have to be careful with the elements, innit? You have to be careful with it, conscious about it.
Yeah.
Voldemort. Go for the Dumbledore.
Yeah. I don't know. He was just talking about wizards and sex. He's just some Harry Potter sex thing. You know where he goes on Pornhub, innit? Parody. Parody.
That's what goes on porn. Parody.
The Harry Potter porn. Expelliarmus.
The 30 secrets are coming out. Talking about parody.
You missed it. You better talk about Harry Potter porn. Harry Potter porn.
That's up like Harry Potter. beyond.
But what I know,
we can only work on that. So I think now. Polygamy can only work if we respect the sexual energy.
Yeah. Oh, and now I remember what you were saying. Yeah. So for us to say that, will society with the broken homes are rare. If we are at a point where we are looking at each other's in a purity where we're having sex for the right reasons, there will be no broken.
There will be no broken.
But there wouldn't be none of the all the shit. We are all imbalanced. So this is why sex is imbalanced, food is imbalanced, friendships is imbalanced, emotions are imbalanced. Some people are too emotional. Some people are too sexual. Some people are too logical or practical.
Too much of one
thing.
thing.
Do you know what I mean? Some people are too hateful, too rare. Some people are too kind. Too open. Some people are too open-minded.
Hey, you see that in your hand right now? You see that in your hand right now? That fucks up your frequency as well.
Yeah, that's
the microphone. That's fuck up our frequency. Cameras fuck up your frequency. Imbalance. There you go. It's all imbalance. Everything's imbalanced.
That's a new one.
Yeah. Of course
The
it does.
logos. Everything.
Go on that.
The air fucks up my frequency, my nigga.
One at a time.
What?
Yo, brothers. Go on.
Everything has an effect on your frequency.
That's my point.
People you're around, everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's everything's fucked.
Everything's I need to go to the jungle, basically.
You got certain religious sects that sex. You have certain religious sects that abstain from certain colours. Like some people are not allowed blue. Like they can't wear the colour blue because it has a religious and a spiritual significance. I always say to man, then we've been wearing baseball caps from how long? Not many people know why we have that thing on the top of the baseball cap.
This part here, isn't it? Yeah, I know what you mean.
If you turn it inside out, can I show you?
Oh shit.
Yeah? If you turn it inside out, what's that?
It's the metal.
A conductor. What's that? On your crown, you know. Look.
Does that make you bald?
Yeah?
No, it's
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
But it's true. But it's part of the reason why people wear jewelry. A lot of people don't know why they do what they do.
We just follow the trends.
If you know what you do, if you know about it, look, listen, we use words every day. How many of us have actually took the dictionary to check? Bro, you taught me something about, what was the word weird? Where is it? The other day I learned the meaning of the word weird. Because all this time I've been using weird to mean, oh, you're odd.
You're strange.
But weird actually means to control your own destiny. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say to you, for you to go, I get what you're saying. You've educated me, or you've educated some, But blood, I still choose to wear a baseball hat. It's like rings and jewelry and them things. Them things takes a certain thing. But listen, I think life is a test. We've all got our challenges. Do you know what I mean? So if you're wearing, if for example you've got a chain on or whatever, and you feel like blah blah blah, motherfucker, wear. It's like when we was talking about the girl. Pam drinks Red Bull. And smoke a spliff, Red Bull, and liquor.
You paid her up.
And play a game.
Paid her up.
No,
you smoke a spliff, man. A long time ago, in the past.
I'm going to work after.
Nothing wrong with weed.
No, but what I'm trying to say is like, if you're aware of something, the test becomes all the more greater. Like if we don't listen. If we don't, you're saying we're highly sexualized. We don't know what sex is about. I think sex mainly is for procreation. So if that was my personal agenda in life, like I've met a woman and I'm saying, you know what, we're gonna procreate. We might use sex to cement our relationship in between. But we know that
maybe
the
a misuse, isn't it?
The law and behold of this thing is procreation. So one day she's saying to me, babe, this sex thing is long today. We're not even trying to have no fucking baby.
What was the point?
The challenge becomes more exciting because why am I even going to see another woman? Why am I even going to force to try and convince her to have sex now? What I should try and do is, you know what?
Challenge yourself and put your energy in something else.
That this is what it's there for, so I'm not going to use it like that. It's like driving at 30 miles per hour. Who does it? No one drives. The other day I was driving 30 miles per hour. The feds looked at me. The feds looked at me like, fam, are you alright? You got some weed in your car, should stop you about. I thought, alright, you know what?
Let me move up.
I'll break the law.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's true, you know, in driving, that's crazy.
It's a beautiful test, you know what I mean? That's what I think. Like, but sex ain't. Look, man, sex is for procreation, bro. That's what it's there for.
Alright, can I just say, as you said that, sorry, respect. 1 second. Yo, wait. As Big Cakes just said, Big Cakes just said that sex is for procreation, right? And he gave that beautiful example. And as he said that, I thought to myself, but if that's the case, then you know that man's hood would only stand up once or
nature wants you to procreate. That's why nature.
Yeah, I hear that. But what I'm trying to say is, if it was only meant for a thing, our thing would be more specific.
I would say I can explain that right now. Can I answer that? You know what nature's trying to do?
Kiss feels good.
Huh?
So that don't
yeah, kisses and all them things feel good, yeah. But nature wants to put you right from a young age. From once a chick starts getting her period is running, she's getting her pelvis is getting a certain area of puberty. Boys start going through the same thing. Nature doesn't care about what your dad said to you, what your mum said to you. Nature is just trying to ensure that this girl has a youth. So when she gets to that point where she feels like doing all them sort of things,
but socially we put something in front of that. Socially we add something to it. We interfere with that. Because we say, okay, she's getting her period, but she's only 9.
Exactly. No. Well, 9 is mad. 9 is mad because
9-year-olds can get their period.
9-year-olds can have problems.
Mentally,
there's more to it. There's more to it. 9-year-old them chicks, they have a disease where they have the baby and they they were too young.
Sorry?
A fruit is a fruit, but it don't mean it don't need to ripen more.
It needs to ripen.
But I'm not arguing with that fact. I'm not arguing with the fact that what I'm saying is if we deal with what nature does, nature can do something that us socially we're gonna now interject like we all have. I said 9-year-old, everyone's like whoa. When I bring the 9-year-old here, compare her physically to the 16-year-old that's from Russia, and we've got this 9-year-old from Zimbabwe. Her hips are of the appropriate width or what childbearing hips. Family does. It can. Puberty can hit people from all different ages.
What he's saying as well. That in couple.
All I'm trying to say is there's something added to it. Go on, Lakeisha.
Procreation, like sex is purely for procreation.
Not purely.
It's even because people think everyone's always, oh, you can only have sex because of this, or you can only have sex because of this, or you can only have sex because of this. That's why people have issues around sex, not because it's just for procreation.
All the stipulations around it.
It's the stipulation. Like sex is an expression, or it's for procreation. There's like all kinds of expressions in those two. And those two options. Do you see what I mean?
Sex is a tool
because
for humans.
Keep putting stipulations on how you over there have sex, or you over there, or you can only have. If we were only meant to have sex for procreation, there would be no urges. We would have sex once a month or once every 6 months.
No, I don't
Do you see what I'm saying?
But your urges, I think some of your urges are a physical response. Is you interpreting a physical. For instance, I will wake up with a boner. Yeah, that's my nature telling me. Like, right, I'm still here. I'm still working.
Like you will have some women who are with a partner. They have sex multiple times, can't get pregnant. Yeah.
But that's
not because they're still having sex. They're trying to have sex, but they can't for whatever reason. They can't. Yeah, they can't have the baby for whatever reason. They then have to go and get help to have the baby. They're still procreating, but sex isn't how they're going to have that baby.
I think what he's saying there.
Always natural.
I think what he's saying is the main.
Even when you want it to be.
No, I hear that. I hear is the main purpose for sex, and I would agree with like the main purpose is procreation. And the only reason why I'd say that is because we're all here because of that act. You get me? But at the same time, I do believe like for me.
No. Sorry, I'll let you finish. Sorry, my bad. No. Just hit me
personally, like it's one of man's favourite hobbies as well. Do you get me? Like it's
and why would that?
Why would we physically be able to riding my bike? If it comes up there, fam. Like the whole sport, the whole energy.
Exactly what she said, because you know what? The majority of the time, it's about.
I'll finish the sentence, man.
It's about the efficiency. It's the efficiency of sex, and the fact that how many times you have to have sex to get someone pregnant. That lets. Maybe sometimes, but that what that lets you know. What that lets you know is it's actually there for your pleasure. That's why the woman has the clitoris. That's why you have the nerves around your head.
You missed my point, Jed.
I'm not missing anyone's point.
What I'm trying to say.
It wasn't a response to your point.
Nature made it pleasurable, just so a man. Imagine if sex weren't pleasurable.
You dead. No human
race.
Yeah, no human race.
Imagine me not waking up with a boner.
I'm not talking about just the urge. Think about what I'm saying, yeah? We wouldn't have the urges at the rate we have them. Whales.
Let me give you an example. Let me tell you something.
Yeah?
Now, can I say something to you?
Fishes, there are literally fishes that go out and they build.
I don't know how much.
3 months, yeah, 3 months, just so some wandering female fish will catch her eye, so she can lay her eggs, so he can fertilize them and procreate.
I know, but that's some fish.
And that's it. They don't attach, and they have no pleasurable things.
Fish,
so listen to what I'm saying to you.
That fish is
listen to what I'm saying to you. You're talking about
desire.
nature, yeah? You're talking about nature and what's natural, yeah? It is not necessary to have urges in order to procreate. Humans have urges.
Let me answer your question. Let me answer.
No, but you have an urge to eat. You have an urge to eat, yeah? You have an urge to eat. You have an urge to rest. You have an urge to drink. You have an urge to sleep, yeah? You have an urge to fuck. So these are your human functions.
You have an urge to blink.
You have an urge to piss. You have an urge to shit.
Everything.
You hear me?
The urge, some people don't want to have kids, they still want to have sex.
I'm with you, but nature created that. Listen.
But they still want to have sex, so they still want all the.
I'm with you because they.
But is that part of society or is that part of nature?
That's what I'm saying.
But
there are some people that say to you they have no maternal instincts.
Yeah,
I know.
And you
but it's
not
because they're in a sexualized.
Hold up. Yeah, it's not that they don't like children. They like children. They have children in their life.
Yeah.
But they're
Westerners.
don't have the.
They're Westerners.
No,
they're Westerners.
But in themselves, they're just like.
They're Westerners because what it is if we was in a if we was if we was in our natural environment, if we was in our natural environment, I think we wouldn't be dissociating sex and procreation. I think honestly. So we had a conversation a couple weeks ago with the ladies, and I tried to say you can't disassociate being a female and being a teacher because I see this is nature. I have no choice but to learn from my mum. You're having sex in nature. You have no choice but to risk getting pregnant. So if you decide in a cave somewhere that you do not want to have children, you're gonna decide that you don't want to have sex. That's my belief. Once society gets hold of sex, once society gets hold of sex, once society gets hold of sex, and teaches it and perverts it in the way where it's given to children, then we start lusting and urging and all that. Whereas when they're in the listen, last point, when they're in the bush. And I always go back to my native programs. You see why it's so important to watch them? They are naked. Man's got his hood inverted and turned up here and tied up here, so it's just up here like that. Gal is there, city swinging. I don't see anyone looking at each other like. I'm not saying it won't happen, but it seems to be lust is low. Go on.
I like that though.
They only have sex for procreation though.
No.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. No, that'd be me assuming. I don't know.
But the point is, miss. I would say yes.
I think the balance is better though for them.
If they haven't got condoms, they don't know.
Condoms are the devil.
They have fun.
Do you know that there are natural forms of contraception?
Of course there are. Of course there are.
If it was only for procreation, there would be no way we'd have natural forms of contraception.
Do you know what our point is? Look, humans made it into other things.
One at a time.
It doesn't mean that you can't have sex not for the sake of procreation.
No one's saying that. No one ain't saying that.
But you can have sex for procreation and pleasure at the same time. You know what? I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to pass you the mic. 1 second, half of that. Listen, in my ideas, this is what I'm saying. Half of the thing about this lady in the bush, in a natural state, wanting to have sex, may be, look, it feels good, and also I may get a bonus and be blessed with a child. So that's always in her head. So that's part of the pleasure, where we in our society can separate the responsibility of the action with the act.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. You see, that's why. Listen. That's why I first started. Let me say something. You see, when you marry the two, let me say something. You see, when you marry the two, nature ain't got a problem with you having a healthy hobby. Imagine a man likes being. Look all these gym man. all these men looking like this right now. Yeah. Nature ain't got no problem. Nature's like, bro, hard
do
work.
your thing,
Smash, axe the thing. I'm gonna bless you with that. Yeah. Nature's like, what, fam, hobby, your thing is sex, yeah? That your hobby. God said, don't worry, bro. I'm gonna make you fruitful. You're gonna have like 100 kids. Do you know what I mean? And that's, you see, nature ain't got, some things are natural.
It's society
it's the society that comes and says, oh, you've got to take a girl out, take her to the cinema, go out with her, and then blah, blah, blah. And then you get lost in all this sauce, You start thinking, oh, but she ain't giving me no sex. Oh, but that girl's giving me some sex. No, bro, this girl, if you're thinking, oh, fucking hell, I can have kids with her. If that's what you were thinking
in the beginning,
What?
None of that would mean nothing.
Whenever I'm ready to
but
make
has to be
kids,
the right person though, because if you go with the wrong person, you come a cropper.
You're gonna come a cropper.
I'll tell you that for
of
free.
course, you're right. But life is funny.
So keep talking you, right?
We've all been in relationships where
what's going on, bro?
But right now, you two are cool, you're going together, you get me, and you're going through something.
But nature bums you. Nature says, oh, here's a you.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all weren't serious, and you're trying to do all that,
Let's go to my man over there, bro.
Sorry,
I wanted to say,
Pete,
about the natural contraception. I agree there is, but nature's only there to teach us, to help us along the way. So I think your statement you made, I disagree with it bigly, because you said there's stuff like condoms and stuff like that, and they help you. Because
I didn't say condoms, help you, that was somebody else.
I heard condoms are the devil. I disagree with contraception in the sense of you ever westernized, or if it's there in the nature, it's so that you can take away from that responsibility which Western always concentrates on. You can't have sex and not have a baby, and do it with the Rico way, your senses and everything is there. And like Kyle said, that's probably the closest nano of a second you get to feeling to your master, to your creator.
Exactly.
When that is coming,
creation. That's the creation. And you know what? The worst thing about it is not just creation. You feel Kundalini, but you feel like for me personally, if I'm having a night of shooting up the club, I know when shooting up the club. You know what man they say, When man, you know what man's mean when man say man shoot up the club. So
all the guys didn't mean shoot up the club.
So when we're shooting up the clubs,
catch a body.
you know when you catch a body. Like I think personally, and when I say catch a body, you personally, there's a point there where you're like, after you nutted,
you know that's a baby. You say that's a baby.
So if you've done it in a bad way where you shouldn't have done it, you're now worried. Yeah. Because you're like, the way this is done, I'm not sure what the science was, but definitely.
It came through your head and went out.
Yeah, because remember what it is. It's not just the sperm meeting the egg, it's the consciousness. And that's the part that no scientist, no one can tell you when that drops in the baby. It's the fucking consciousness, and that comes through your act, what you're doing. So therefore, it is a connection to the creator.
Something that is
social childbirth.
Can I say something though?
Social childbirth. Social our whole lives. Be more left more sacred.
The reason why sex is not regulated is because we live in the West, and we need to understand when the people come to our land, Africa, they saw us all half naked and we live in life, and then they're like, oh my god, what are they doing? We're not civilized. Like, we was in our natural
form. Look at there. Uncivilized.
They have brought their traditions, their culture onto us. And the thing is, I'll tell you something, as someone who is homosexual or whatever, I see myself as fluid. I don't want to put myself in a box. But what I'm saying is, I read a book where they were basically, it was about homosexuality in the West, and how all these artists, all these people that they tell us to aspire to be like, were basically paedophiles and were fucking all these little boys and putting this agenda of homosexuality onto people. And I can, because I'm open-minded, I could read that and not feel like, I don't want to, because, there's always a start to everything. Do you know what I mean? There's always a cause, you know what I'm saying? So, obviously, how things have progressed in time and how, being gay and things like that, like, it's just loads of more things, and I just feel like you were saying, like, we're disconnecting ourselves from nature, our natural self. I personally believe that I can express myself to another female because I'm expressing myself and it's coming through my heart. It's not through lust. I was like that when I was young because I didn't understand myself, and I was taught that. I didn't have a father who taught me what a man was. Do you know what I mean? My mum didn't know about relationships. So these things there, you have to ask yourself, why do I do these things? What is it? You know what I mean? You can't just live in oblivion and fairy tale. It's not a fairy tale, it's a dream that you can manifest, you can create. Do you know what I mean? And you have to be true to yourself Do you know what I mean? But it's like, the reality is, we live in a society that don't want us to be natural. So that's why we're all messed up. Do you know what I mean? And this is why we have to talk and we have to have these conversations.
I know I asked this in the beginning, yeah? I know I asked this in the beginning, but just to wrap up, yeah? We're going back to nature and being in harmony with nature. So, and I know Big Cakes was the first man to make this point. So let me get from you lot again. Polygamy, polyandry, I don't even know the terminology, and that's kind of shit. I should have, but
polygamy and polyandry. Right?
Polyandry, yeah. Polyamory, nature, or not? Monogamy or polygamy or polyandry. What is our, in your opinion, our natural state?
No one knows.
Honor, a state of honor, man. I believe it's an honourable situation. If you go to one village, if you know, people talk about Africa like Africa's
one thing, that jars me still.
It bugs me out because even within my tribe,
it's all on different things, and
it's so bonkers. And when you cross, it's like from driving from here to Greenwich. Yeah, you're in another man's village.
Bits, You're
saying, nah, we don't marry on this day, and we don't do on that, and we don't marry from that tribe. So what I'm trying to say is, it's got to be honourable. Do you know what I mean? And not just on a regional area.
But is our natural state a village, bro? Can I just ask? Is our natural state a village, though, bro?
When you break things down, I think life is like a Russian doll. If a village is going to be honourable, the people within it have to be honourable, and the within. Man, we went on for ages, though. We went on.
How long was it?
I was surprised.
I need to smoke.
The same man.
You think I should split into half?
You built it, though.
We can't continue this conversation this week. I have to be something else. What did you think? Was it good, yeah? Trying to be real.
That's the weirdest thing.
Be real, I'm alright. Yo, guys. Attack. Start out of one pot first if you can, so then if one's not been open.
That one hasn't been open.